Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be transported to a place of controversy where you'll laugh and think and possibly learn something. It's time for the Marty and Mr. Bill Show.
Mr. Bill, how are you today?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm sitting here wondering, man, and I got tired watching the things, that's advertised nowadays on the radio or on the TV, because everything seems to be the same here and there. It's like they're trying to lean you one way or another. And then I read this article, and it made more sense then. That, in America today, we are more connected than ever. We got more outlets, more information coming in than ever before. The average American watches 153 hours of television a month. That's on the average, and that doesn't even count the countless hours we spend watching movies, playing video games, listening to music, reading books, and surfing the internet. The internet itself, covers a lot of time for people. So we are immensely, immersed into fucking the media. Now, what would you think if I actually told you that if you were in control of the production of the media, that would make you an extremely powerful person? No?
Well, I'd say, when did you figure that out? It's almost something you know from inception.
But now the only thing I didn't know was that the media itself is controlled by just 6 enormous media conglomerates.
Probably Jewish too, man.
They may be possibly Jewish, but they combined that they produce 90% of all the media that Americans consume and watch.
Well,
No,
it's kind of sad. I kind of knew that, but that's sad that there's such a small minority that control everything.
Right, and that's kind of alarming, man. And
CNN, Clinton News Network, man.
And they call CNN the Clinton News Network because they're always positive Clinton. They always roll positive Clinton on everything.
Yeah, I think Ted Turner is a big-time Clinton person, supporter, and all that shit.
Well, that's just it, man. The truth is about it. Our attitudes, our opinions, our beliefs, things that we understand and believe and see is working out there in the world, comes from the media, and then that's why they call it programming. That's not the only. That's not the only reason.
This is true. They should call it ass reaming, really, though, because that's what they do.
Right. The media has a tremendous influence over all of us.
Oh yeah.
What they don't want you to do is they don't want you to look behind the curtain. They don't want you to see the information, out there that is available, to us because of the internet nowadays. There's people like us or other people that actually speak what they're thinking rather than what the media wants them to know.
Yeah, but we're the ones that they wish would have heart attacks in our sleep and shit.
Well, they don't want you to ask any questions. They want you to blindly follow what they tell you.
I think the term is to be a lemming or a zelig.
Yep. Well, but fortunately, nowadays, because of the internet and the availability to the truth out there, a lot of Americans are waking up and starting to reject mainstream media. They're starting to. I myself, I haven't watched regular television in 5 years.
I watch it every now and then. I don't watch it all the time. More computer than anything else.
Yep, I get all my information right offline, off the Fox networks and stuff like that. Even they know that the internet is a good place to stream information.
Oh yeah.
But even the networks have their own channels on YouTube.
Well, a lot of people think that the internet and all that shit is always bullshit, and a lot of times it is. But there are certain aspects, certain facets, certain areas and stuff that you can count on for pretty good, straight up newsworthy stuff. And I try to deal with that. You got to sort out your YouTube videos, you vaping bastard again, man. I don't have any capabilities of that, man. I'm tragically hurt. That what we got to do? We got to come up with something like smell-o-vision or something, but something where, like you could like send me the buzz
Send
somehow.
you. There you go.
I need the buzz, brother.
But,
Anyway, sorry, man.
well,
I got transected
that's
there.
okay. Well, starting on, I mean, I found out like just in general 7 things that the mainstream media that they don't want you to know, man. And I'll try to explain it,
Only seven, huh?
but only 7. There's more. I'm sure there's more,
Oh
but I
yeah,
found
about
seven
seven
main things.
times 70.
But starting with number one, the mainstream media, it has very deep ties to the establishment and the government.
Sure they
You
do.
know, a lot of people don't understand that. But so, did you know that the president of CBS and the president of ABC both have brothers that are top officials in the Obama administration?
I did not.
Okay, a lot of people don't understand that. Now we know. Now we're starting to understand why the big news networks have developed, a relationship with the federal government in recent years is because they want us to understand what they want us to understand. They don't want us to see other shit. You know, you won't never you will very rarely see any hard hitting stories on the big networks anymore. Everything flows. The flow of information goes through corporate dominated media is very tightly controlled.
See, that ought to be illegal, though, man. If the Obama administration can employ people in top upper echelon positions in serious news medias, because that's it's just not right, man. That's controlling the media. And that I could see, Clinton is big on that, man. I mean, when Arkansas and everything, because like I say, it's the thing. You control the the political, you control the media, you control the courts. If
Well,
you got those three things wrapped up. I mean, wherever you're at, nothing goes in or out without you saying yay or nay, and that ain't right, but that's what they did in Arkansas.
right.
And that's what they'll try to
Well,
do if they get power again in the White House.
well, see, and then just to say at the same time, though, we're sitting here. The mainstream media constantly gets things wrong. You know, they put shit out there that is not even fucking actual or factual at
Well,
all.
you know why that
And they
happens is because simply put, they get some tip and they think, okay, this could be a good thing. Let's go with it because CBS or whoever the affiliate competitors are going to get a scoop on this and put it out. So to them, getting it wrong but getting it first is more important than tying with the other guy but being accurate.
right, and that's screwing us up, man. And it's and number. I mean, and the next thing on it, I mean, the American public. And on general, the American public does not no longer consider the media to be very trustworthy. Because I mean, it
Duh.
says right here, it says right in the article I read by it was a Gallup poll. And according to the poll, the distrust of the media has reached an all-time high. According to that poll, 60% of Americans have little or no trust in the media.
Yeah, man. I think when Walter Cronkite gave it up, that was it. Everybody said, "Fuck it, man. The media's done, man." He was the only dude
No,
you trusted, man.
I know I loved Walter,
I did
man,
too,
and
man.
most people don't remember him, man.
He was the most trusted news anchor in American history.
That's right, man. He deserves props, man. But
And his what was this thing at the end? He goes, "And that's the way it is."
right today, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
tell you what, I seen that man cry the day he had to go on the news and talk about Kennedy was assassinated. I was only about 62 or something. I don't know, I was 6 or 7, but it
for a lot of people, that was a moving situation,
it
man.
was, man. I mean, I was confused. I was too young to understand it, really. I mean, I knew somebody big had bit the dust, and the TV was fucked. Captain Kangaroo was fucked for a whole week, but that's what I remember. I remember seeing John, man, saluting his dad as he went by with the procession, but I don't. I think that was more unnerving to me at that age because Captain Kangaroo wasn't on, man. Because again, you only had 2 or 3 channels, and they were all tied to the week, and when they were in with the rotunda and all that sort of thing. So
Well,
yeah, I'd like to say that I wished I had went through life without having an assassinated president be part of my lifetime, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of things, man, the media kind of downplayed. Do you remember Begin and Sadat?
Okay.
That's Carter's one big thing. Carter got them to sign the peace treaty, and then after that, militants took out Sadat,
Oh yeah.
killed him in an outside gathering, man, and just shot him to shit, you know.
Well, that was probably staged too, man. I don't even know if that was totally accurate or staged.
Well, that's what happened. I mean, however it went down. I mean, they showed it even on TV back in the day. He was doing an outside rally, man, and they just opened up on his ass with M16s or AKs or whatever it was, and he
I
didn't
mean
stand a
that's
chance.
well, I mean you live how you live, man, and
Oh
I mean
yeah, oh yeah.
it took him down. They took him down because they didn't want to live that way, you know.
Well, that was the thing, man. I mean, well, him and Menachem Begin was Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin, I think. Uh, they had a hard time getting along, man. And somehow Carter managed to get him to hang. You know, I mean, however he did it, you know, that was his contribution to his presidency. And I mean, he tried to do what he could to get the hostages. It wasn't his fault. It was bad intel that you know they went over there during a haboob and all that shit. And helicopters got malfunctioned and things. And, but anyway, we're getting off subject. But you know, I do that all the time. So
Well, we get back here, man. Now, the number fourth thing that they don't want you to know, number four, is the mainstream media and the politicians that they worship hate the fact that they cannot control internet news sites. You know, in
like
the
us.
old days, yeah, like us. In the old days, mainstream media had a virtual monopoly on the news, and you couldn't get news anywhere
Well,
else
hell
unless
yeah.
you.
You'd think Clinton was ordained angel, man, if it wasn't for YouTube and the internet, because they suppress everything else.
That's right, man. And well, I mean, that's just it, man. The internet itself, anybody with an internet connection can put up a news site, and that's driving the establishment absolutely nuts.
Yes, it
They
is.
can't, they cannot stand that. You
It's
know,
actually freedom of the press. My God, what a concept.
I know. You know, and then the people actually have the freedom now because of the internet.
Yes, we
You
do.
know,
Can't kill us
so
all.
okay, number five, the mainstream media is extremely liberal. You know, when it comes to politics, the mainstream media is far more liberal than the general population is. They let stuff go that a normal American would not let go. You know, that I mean, for example, they got it down here on this article here. One survey found that 41% of American voters believe that the average reporter is more liberal than they are, while only 18% believe that the average reporter is more conservative than they are. You the UCL study on media bias discovered the vast majority of media outlets are left of the center, so they're more left side liberals than anything else. Even MSNBC has confirmed that the liberal bias of the media, according to them, the mainstream journalists are far more likely to donate their own money to Democrats than they are to Republicans. Because they're that liberal. You know. Okay. Let me see. The number six reason is out of all the media that we see out there, I'm talking, I mean, all the channels that you ever imagined, anything you've ever watched, any information you've ever seen is controlled by six people or six major corporations.
It's
You
amazing,
know,
man. Not
that's
surprising,
it.
but amazing.
And it doesn't matter what channel you watch, man. I mean, it's like Time Warner. They not only do they own CNN, but they own Home Box Office, Time, Turner Broadcasting, Warner Brothers, CW, TMZ, New Line Cinema, Time Warner. That's just a few. I could name off. They've got about 10 more, including big companies like Cinemax, TBS, TNT, uh, DC Comics. They own DC fucking Comics,
Yeah, I think
man.
you should. You think we should go through just briefly and just name everybody that they do own?
Okay, here we go. Now, Time Warner owns Home Box Office, Time and Company, Turner Broadcasting System, Warner Brothers Entertainment, CW Network. They have partial ownership in that. TMZ, New Line Cinema, Time Warner Cable, Cinemax, Cartoon Network, TBS, TNT, American Online, MapQuest, MoviePhone, Castle Rock, Sports Illustrated, Fortune, Marie Claire, DC Comics, and People Magazine. Now
Damn.
that's all owned by Time Warner.
I can believe that.
They control every one of those.
And you know that is Jewish.
Okay, well, the next fucking crazy thing here is the next big guy that controls the media is Walt Disney.
I was gonna say, I figured Disney had a big piece because they own like shit, Pixar and all kinds of shit.
They own a lot of shit. Walt Disney itself
Megam.
owns they own ABC Television Network.
Yeah.
They own Disney Publishing, ESPN, the Disney Channel, the History Channel. They own the SOAT Network, A&E, Lifetime, Beulah Vista Home Entertainment, the Beulah Vista Theatrical Productions, and Beulah Vista Records. They also own Disney Records, Hollywood Records, Miramax Films, Touchstone Pictures, Walt Disney Pictures, Pixar Animation, 277 radio stations, Beulah Vista Games, and Hyperlon Books.
Hmm.
That's Disney.
It's a lot, man.
You know, they own, and people don't realize. I mean, they tune into
Also Jewish.
ESPN and like that. Yeah, they don't realize that they're actually listening to Disney.
Oh yeah.
You know?
There you go.
And I mean, and then you get down to Viacom, which everybody's heard the name Viacom, but nobody ever realized who they were. You know, I mean, Viacom is actually a lot bigger than a lot of people realize because they own Paramount Pictures, Paramount Home Entertainment, Black Entertainment, BET, Comedy Central, Country Music Television. They own Logo, MTV, MTV Canada, MTV2, Nick Magazine, Nick at Night, Nick Jr., Nickelodeon, Noggin, Spike TV, the Movie Channel, TV Land, and VH1.
That's a pretty good resume, man.
You ain't kidding, man. I mean,
That's serious, motherfucker. I'd like to get a loan.
That's not even one of the large guys, you know. And then you got News Corporation. Now, News Corporation is another name nobody ever really heard of, but everybody looks at them every day because News Corporation owns the Dow Jones and Company. They own televisions. They own Fox television stations. They own the New York Post, TV Guide, Fox. Oh man,
We have technical difficulties.
you still there, Bill?
I'm still here, man. Yeah, we had some technical difficulty there or
I
something.
don't know what happened there, man. But
It's all good. Well,
all
now,
right,
now Rupert Murdoch owns Fox, man. So you're saying he
Rupert
doesn't
Murdoch-
own all of it?
he does not own Fox. If he owns Fox, he owns it because he's the CEO for the News Corporation.
Huh? Because they just fired Roger Ailes, man. And
Well,
I know Rupert Murdoch is the owner of Fox, though, man.
well, I don't think if he's the owner, he has to be the owner of News Corporation because News Corporation owns Fox.
Well, maybe.
No.
Yeah, you got it
No,
right
I
there in
don't
front of you, man. So
I mean, I'm looking right at the
yeah,
list.
I believe you. Like I said, I just always under the impression that he was the
But
guy.
They own. Not only do they own Fox, but they own Fox Searchlight Pictures, Bell Fonet, Fox Business Network, Fox Kids Europe, Fox News Channel, Fox Sports Net, and Fox Television Network. So they own all of Fox. You know, they also own FX, My Network TV, MySpace, News Limited News, Phoenix Info Channel, the Phoenix Movie Channel, Sky Perfect TV, Speed Channel, Star TV India, Star TV Taiwan, and Star World, Times Higher Education Supplement Magazine, Times Literary Supplement Magazine, Times of London, 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment, 20th Century Fox International, 20th Century Fox Studios, 20th Century Fox Television, B Sky B, Direct TV, which is huge, the Wall Street Journal, Fox Broadcasting Company, Fox Interactive Media, Foxtel, HarperCollins Publishers, the National Geographic Channel, National Rugby League, News Interactive, News Outdoor, Radio Veronica, Reagan Books, Sky Italia, Sky Radio Denmark, Sky Radio Germany, and Sky Radio Netherlands, not to mention Star, and Zondervan. I do not know who Zondervan is,
A lot of
but
them I don't know, man. But I mean, long and the short of it is, there's a lot of motherfucking companies.
you ain't shitting, man. Now we're getting into the big names, and surprisingly, they don't own as much as Disney and these other guys, but they do, in a different way, you know, because someone else, I can't remember who that was now, but someone else had a portion of Disney or CW. Okay, CW was partially owned by the Turner network, man, and now CBS they actually own 50%. I think,
Well, I
yeah,
believe the
50%.
C in CW stands for Columbia, man.
Okay, well, it might be, but CW owns 50%, or CBS owns 50% of the CW network.
Hmm.
They also own CBS News, CBS Sports, CBS Television Network, CNET, Showtime, TV.com, CBS Radio and Company, which is 130 stations. They got CBS Consumer Products, CBS Outdoor, the CW Network. They only have 50% of that, like I said. Infinity Broadcasting, Simon and Schuster, which is the pocketbook subscriber, Westwood One Radio Network.
Westwood
That
One's big.
yeah, that's big. Then you get down to another company you do not realize, because I always thought Comcast was just a cable company, but they're not. Comcast is way above just a cable company. Comcast owns NBC, Bravo, CNBC, NBC News, NSNBC, NBC Sports, NBC Television Network. They own Oxygen, the Sci-Fi Magazine, the Sci-Fi Channel, Telemundo, which is kind of huge,
Oh yeah, Spanish.
USA Network, the Weather Channel, which is huge, Focus Features, NBC Universal Television Distributed, NBC Universal Television Studios, Paxton Communications. They only have partial information ownership in that, but they own Hulu, they own Universal Parks and Resorts, Universal Pictures, and Universal Studio Home Video. That's all owned by Comcast. Now, I thought Universal was owned partially through Disney, but I was wrong. They're actually owned by Comcast. And obviously, either they pay Disney or Disney pays them to put the Universal Studios in their park. So, and the seventh reason here, the American people are absolutely, absolutely addicted to the mainstream media. Like I said in the beginning, the average American still watches 153 hours of television a month.
Not
You
me.
know, I mean, that's just on the average. There's a lot of people like us out there that don't. But when you allow that much information to be downloaded into your brain, it's going to have a dynamic effect on how you think.
Of course it will.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you don't plan to go that way. If you see something enough, you're going to start leaning that way. I mean,
Well, it's
people,
the Clinton mantra for why they lie so frickin' much. I said frickin'. I can't believe I didn't say fucking. Why they lied so fucking much? Because they figure if they say it long enough, you'll believe it.
true.
That's their mantra, man.
And the Clintons, they try to tell themselves this enough to make it to them. It's true then.
Pathological is the word.
But now, according to in 2010, the LA Times did a report. That they said young people, we're talking just the kids today, not just everybody else, just the kids, the young people today spend 53 hours a week watching TV, playing video games, and sitting at the computer. And that's a real moderate, because I know a lot of kids that do more than that. But on Facebook, they spend about 15 hours a month on Facebook. But at the same time they're walking and driving and texting somebody all the time, and there's been cases of people falling into shit while they're texting and stuff and tripping over things and stuff.
Oh yeah, breaking their legs, cars, all kinds of shit.
Now, if that report is true, that means our young people are spending more than 200 hours a month connected to the medium. But On the average, we're only awake for about 480 hours a month. You know, excuse me.
Yeah, when you're in your 20s, maybe we're probably only awake probably 200.
Yeah, but we really need to try to get it out there where people break this sick addiction they've got to the mainstream media, and get people to start thinking for themselves.
Hmm.
No, we will never see widespread changes in our society as long as people are allowing themselves to be programmed by the mainstream media.
Well, that's true,
The-
but it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. They're used to it. They don't even know a lot of them that they're dealing with it. I mean, you got to have a mind. You've got to be able to be kind of a protagonist. Be able to complain and shit, but for the right thing. And most people don't have the balls. They just want to
That's
ride
true.
along, man. They don't care as long as they know where their paycheck. They get that 5 fucking days in and 40 hours, whatever, and get that paycheck. Friday night they're at the fucking supermarket. Saturday they're mowing the lawn, and I mean that's a regulated gig, and that's what they like. They don't. That's why people work for people instead of people that have their own businesses and shit like myself. You've got to. Takes a special breed. You've got to be the fuck it guy.
Well,
Most people don't have the balls to say that.
that's it. On the average, most people do not want to try to think on their own.
It's easier to let
They
somebody
want
think for you, man.
That's right. They want everything arranged, everything set up to where, hey, well, this is what I got to
Oh
do
yeah,
now. This is what I got to do now. This is what I should be doing. You know,
oh yeah.
I mean, all that shit's programmed into you because you want someone else to tell you what you need to do.
Well,
They go out and work for somebody else, rather than trying to do their own thing because they don't have the ambition or the ability to create a business or a job for themselves.
sad
You
part is
know,
most people don't even see it. You sit back and you're at home and you see something on TV about some guy beat the shit out of some subservient broad that she's been his concubine or whatever for X amount of years. And that's so terrible. How could she not have a mind? How could she not know that this was bad and walk away and shit? It's not that different. I mean, it's violent, but the
well,
difference is still the same though, because you still have people that maybe they're not getting a piss beat out of them by their significant other, but they're still following that path because it's easier for them. They're just subservient motherfucking punks. They don't know how to do their own thing. They just
and
want
that's it.
somebody to say, okay, at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 10:15, that 7 to 3:30 guy, you get to take a 10-minute cigarette and or piss break, but you got to be back here. I mean, I've never liked to work in factories because that is so preordained every day. You go in there for 40 years and you make the same fucking part 10 million times a day.
Well, I've done both, man. I've worked for other people. I've worked in big corporations and factories, and I've worked for myself. You know, I prefer to work for myself because I get to make my own choices.
Well, you still there, a lot of people, here's the thing. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 something years now. Now, I'm in the service industry, as you know. Now, I still, when you get that big ass account, or you get that person, maybe a realtor or somebody where you're going to be called all the time. I just did one this morning for a realtor. Um, you you start looking at that, even though you're working for yourself, you don't want that job to go to somebody else, the other guys, the hired guns, the corps, whatever. So you end up kissing their ass to some degree, whatever level you have to maintain that account. It's still
Well,
kind of, not doing what you want to do. In other words, what I'm getting at is even though you own your own, you work for yourself, you still pay somebody's dues somewhere because unless you're at the point where you're, Big Daddy, I mean, and look what happens. I love Big Daddy to death, but when you get to that point, he's 180 degrees different than what we're talking about right now. He's the fuck you guy. He's the guy that
right.
doesn't think about anything. He's like, you're fired. I mean, the
You
motherfucker,
fucking
I think the
fired.
motherfucker got a trademark on you're fired. I think he actually owns that now. And
I don't doubt that, man.
But I'm just saying. But that's the difference. You know, you go from the dude that says, "Yes, please lead me to my meal today," to "You're fired, fucker." You know, I mean, and
That's right.
that's the spectrum. But even being your own boss and everything, like I said, you still have to anticipate that you're going to have to do something for a customer or take some shit from a customer, maybe not, depending on the customer and what the shit would be, in order to continually facilitate that particular situation. You know, I got a realtor, like I said, she throws me, I don't know, half a dozen houses a month. Minimum, you know, $160 in about an hour, something like that. So it's not, you know, I mean, I don't have tons and tons and tons of that stuff, but you know, the good ones that you do have, you want to keep them because there's an old saying in service. I mean, it's not really an old saying; it's a common thing. You know, it's a lot easier to lose them than it is to get them.
Oh, I tell you
Excuse
what.
me, I said that incorrect. It's
Yeah,
a lot harder to find them than it is
that it is. That it
than
is
it
to
is to
lose them.
keep them. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Well, that's
Because
just it, man. It costs more money to get a customer. Now Ford's proven that.
oh yeah,
It costs them more money to get a customer than it does to maintain the customer's happiness.
well this is true because you've got 1 second here. To maintain their happiness, you just got to do what you got to do within reason. In order to get new customers, you've got legwork and you've got advertising costs.
All that shit adds up, man.
And
And
nothing is to say that that particular new account that you just busted your ass to get isn't going to be a one timer, because you know there's percentages of people in that situation too. The guy that's always looking for the killer deal, no matter who he's getting, he gets fucked 9 out of 10 times, but he's still going to get the lowest price. To him, feels like he won. Well, you don't. I'm here to say right now, in my business, there are, you know, the low guys that you know you're going to get raped and pillaged, and then there's the guys that are marginal.
oh,
Then there's me.
excuse me.
Then there's the super high price guys, and that's it. I mean, I'd rather not do a job, you know, than do them for nothing because the customer is that low guy. So you got that guy, and then you've got the. I mean, we're off topic a little, but still, you've got that guy, and then you've got. I'm stoned, man. I forgot. I
Yeah,
don't know where I was going with it, man.
I don't even. But we might as well go ahead and write this. We've gone as far as we can on this. I can go a little farther on the media, but the main point I want to get across is that as you're sitting there and you're watching this stuff, and just realize that 90% of this programming, like I said, is put out there by six major corporations. Now, whoever partially controls or whatever interest those six corporations have is the way they're going to try to lean you. So you need to try, like if they want Clinton in there, and you'll notice it's like CNN is one of them. CNN will never say a bad thing about Clinton, but they'll trash Trump, you know, but they won't say anything bad about Clinton's because Clinton's pretty much got that wrapped up somehow. Obviously,
They do.
they've got some connections, and I imagine if you checked into Hillary's dossier or whatever for donations and stuff, you'd find out that Time Warner is probably a large contributor to her
I think they were, man, in that commercial they're running.
that they
Oh, you
were,
got Bank of America and Lehman Marcus rather, and Lehman Brothers. All those guys, man, are all contributors to the Clinton Foundation.
Oh yeah, and they're all owned by most of them. I mean, that has nothing to do with the media, but they're all owned by large corporations.
You start tying
They're
them together, man. It comes together in a payola
some way,
scenario.
some way or another, they all come together. That's like they say, man. All the money in the United States is controlled by the top 1% people. That's it. They control all the major money. 1%. That's that's ridiculous, but that's the way it is. But they
That's the
say
way it is.
if you took all the money away from these people and gave it to all the people out there, split it up, within 5 years' time, those people would have the money back anyhow. they would get it back because they already own everything.
Yeah, I know,
You know,
man. It sucks.
they're going to get your money back no matter what. You can't break them because they already own everything that you're going to ever want. So whatever
Yeah, it's true, man.
any money you got, you're going to give it back to them anyhow.
Yeah, it reminds
You
me of
know?
a Seinfeld episode, man, where Elaine tried to fuck with this the Cinco de Mayo store and Poo de Mayo or some shit. Turned out she owned them both, man. Her name was like Joanne Mayo. She hired Kramer, and he went in there and stole all the desiccant things out of the clothes. And he says, "Yeah, in 10 years those clothes will be fucked."
There you go.
Gotta love
That's
that
good.
show, man.
But
What you were talking about? What we're gonna do to hit and quit it? We're talking about like nudists or Ted Nugent or Ted Nudist or something, or
well, we could go that way to Nugent himself, man. I don't know much about where he stands right now. I hate to talk much about him.
well, you know he's
You
for
know,
Trump, man, because Trump's the Second Amendment guy, and the Nuge man has a dick for a gun, man, or a gun
well,
for
I
a dick.
know.
I mean,
I'm sure he's
probably got a dick for a
pro-Trump.
gun too.
Probably has a dick gun, but, but I've
Well,
seen
that's
one of
what.
those in
What's
there.
that? Da na 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 na. Peter Gunn, you know.
Well,
Peter
they
Gunn,
actually
penis gun.
had it. What was it? Can't remember. Dusk to Dawn. It was in one of the Dusk to Dawn movies. They actually had
Oh, the dick
a
gun.
guy had a dick gun. Actually,
Yeah, that
man,
dude was Dust to Dawn, and the dude's name was Sex Machine.
sex machine. Yeah, that
He was
he
the
popped
son of
that
yeah,
gun
he's the
out.
son of an actor, been around forever, man. He's done a lot of shit. He done and the Dick Gun has showed up in a lot of Robert Rodriguez movies, man. As the Dick Gun, I think it's the character, man. They say Dick Gun as himself.
Let's go, man. But I think we ought to bring to light, man. I mean, I know Trump and Hillary's kind of a bad thing, but I'd like to bring out on the Hit and Quit It the fact of Hillary. I mean, Trump's fighting about this stuff, man, on the borders, you know, and he want to
Immigré.
close. Yeah, he's got a reason, and everybody's like, oh, he wants to do all this bad stuff to all this bad. No, he don't.
No, he doesn't,
He's
man.
not.
He just wants
He's
things to
not
be where it's
trying to.
supposed to be.
All Trump is trying to do is he wants to step things up to where we actually follow the laws that we already have in effect.
Oh yeah. I mean, if people knew how things, excuse me, quit drinking that frickin' soda. I said frickin' again, man. I meant fucking soda. Um, gotta quit that.
You don't have to say that.
I kind of do, man. It's my thing, you know. But when they brought the immigrants over in Ellis Island back, in early 1900s and shit, there was protocols, man. I mean, they were put in refugee camps, and each one was screened. They were screened for polio. They were screened for scabies, lice, anything, tetanus toxoid. I don't know what, but
But
everything, man.
they're also tested on their beliefs and their standards.
Oh yeah, if they didn't think American was cool, then they put him back on get the fuck out of America ship.
If you don't like this, if you don't like doing things we want you to do them, you just go back home.
Yeah,
You know,
and
you know that's
they made him have to go to school and learn English and shit, and learn about the country and stuff, and then they tested him.
yeah. There was none of this push one for fucking English. You know,
Yeah, there
if
wasn't
you
there
wanted,
wasn't no one to push.
that's right. If you wanted to be here, you had to learn English. You know,
That's it.
there wasn't none of this. Motherfucker can't speak English. Excuse my language, but so I don't understand him. It was I had to get an interpreter, but still have to hire this guy even though he can't speak English.
What do you mean,
You know,
excuse my English, man?
you
You swear as
but
much
yeah,
as
I
I
know.
do, man. You just don't necessarily do
I
it right
do.
now.
I try to be as proper as possible.
Well, so do I, man. But
But
everybody that sees our podcast know that I'm the cussing guy. I mean, it's my thing, man. I like to swear, man. I like to cuss. I can't help it, man. It's just a thing. And I tend to
but
cuss more when we talk. I mean, I'm not this guy. I don't go in and talk to the general public with cussing on my breath all the time in my business or anything, but I enjoy doing it now. So
well,
fuck it.
that's fine. But when it comes right down to it, all Trump wants to do is put this all back into effect to where if someone wants to come into our country, they're going to have to be screened, they're going to be tested, and they're going to be their beliefs and stuff are going to be questioned. You know, and they're not going to let someone. He's not going to let someone come in the country that says, "Yes, I hate all Americans, and my belief says we should kill all Americans."
I agree.
But I want to be in your country. You know,
Well, I
that
set up to kill Americans.
yeah, that guy's going home. You
In
know,
a box, man.
yeah, he's leaving. You know, now not necessarily would it be politically correct for us to kill him, but we will send him home. Not only that, Trump wants to stop issuing visas to countries that will not take people back. You know, if they will not accept their people back,
There's a
then we
reason.
don't want to give them a visa to come here.
Hell no. I didn't know they did that.
Yes, they do that. That's how we get stuck with a lot of these illegal aliens. I mean, they come over here on a visa, and then it comes time to leave. Their country says no, they can't come back here.
Well, they shouldn't have a fucking visa in the first place if they're public enemy number one.
That's what Trump's trying to bring up. You know, they shouldn't be issued a visa.
No.
If their country will not take them back,
There's
they
a
should
reason.
not. There's a reason. You know, we don't need them. You know, and he wants to, and that's part of our rules and laws too.
Well, that
And
was part of that Castro thing. What was it, the Mariel boat lift or whatever that was? Or it might be two different things, but I'm thinking it's the same thing. But when they had all of those, he took all of the criminals and shit into prisons and shit and sent them to Florida.
Yeah, but right now they figure we got 11 million illegal aliens in this country. You know, that's not supposed to be here, and we have. I think the number, I might be wrong, man. So I don't want to quote this as an actual number, but I believe I heard that they have 66,000 illegal aliens that are actually serious criminals that's been convicted of serious crimes and then released back into the United States rather than being sent home.
It's not surprising.
Because their country wouldn't take them.
It's not surprising.
And we put them right back in the United States. No, that's because we allowed the motherfuckers to be here in the first place. You know, now if we don't allow them to come in, if we close that border and we make them go through the proper channels to get in here, then we got more chance that we don't end up with those people, you know, that criminal element. You know, that criminal element, 9 out of 10 times, they come here because they got to get away from their country. You know, that's going to lock their ass up or kill them or something. So they want to get the hell out of there and come over here. And then the next thing you know, we catch them doing something. We can't incarcerate them because they're another. We can, but we can't keep them because INS will not allow us to keep them because they're a fucking immigrant. We have to turn around and re-release them back into society until they can be deported back to where they come from. Now, if that deportation is not possible because their country will not allow them back, guess what, Bill? We have to keep the motherfuckers.
Hey, man, we should have like the 51st state somewhere in Alaska. We buy some property from them. We'll call it Immigration.
Immigration.
The
motherfuckers send them all there, yeah.
We'll send them to Immigration, man, if they don't meet the minimum standards here, you know?
If we're stuck with them, man, we don't want them. We send them somewhere they can stay there and lock that border so they can't get out of it, you know?
Send them up there, let the Newfies, man, up there in Newfoundland and shit.
Let them deal with the shit.
Call it
no.
Immigration. I like that. That's a good idea. I may send a text to Big Daddy and kind of give him that possible idea.
If we allow Hillary in the office now, Hillary is going to try to establish a massive amnesty and have totally open borders.
Oh yeah. Well,
she doesn't want to leave the borders completely open, allow anybody that wants to sneak their fucking ass in or come in here on a visa or something, just walk the fuck in.
What people need to understand about that type of mentality, be it Democrat or Republican, but it's mostly Democrats, is they do all this shit for votes. They look for the lowest common denominator, which is the people on food stamps all the time, people that are barely sliding by, that are social program oriented. And the Democrats are a social program party. That's what they want, especially Obama. He's the king of social programs. You know, he wants socialism. Everybody knows that unless you're deaf. And it's all about votes for them. You know, they let these people in. These are minority people. They're just getting started. They're going to be Democratic. You know, and it's not about doing the right thing. It's about doing the re-election thing for your party. And that's what the
Well,
Democrats are all about, man. They don't give a fuck about saving that person's soul and making sure that person has something to eat. They're like, well, we give that motherfucker some food stamps and shit, and they'll vote for us. So we'll be able to
well,
keep our fucking phony baloney jobs.
well. See, Hillary wants to ignore the law and allow the immigrants to overstay their visas without being deported. You know, and I mean, it's just she wants to kill the policy of immigration and calls it one lawless order after another.
Well,
That's
and that's exactly what it would
Clinton's
do.
policy. Yeah, it's going to the Clinton's policy is going to create one lawless order after another, which is going to screw us.
In the interest
But
of
did you
votes.
but do you know that in the United States right now we have 300 cities that are sanctuaries for illegal aliens that allow them to stay there and helps protect them.
Didn't know how many, but I'm sure they exist.
Oh, there's 300 cities in America that help protect illegal aliens. You know,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
that is crazy. But like you said, it is what it is, man.
What's going to happen, man?
It's not all
If
black and
Trump
white like when we were kids. We thought it was
Trump
black
gets
and
in,
white.
if Trump gets in there, he will do his best. And like he said, he's not trying to be hard on these people. He wants to be fair.
Thing is,
You
man, there's
know,
been so many laws for so long that have been ignored. You don't even know they exist.
that's just it, man. He said he doesn't want to make. He's not trying to do anything we're not supposed to do anyhow. But he wants to be as fair as possible with the people that are already here. You know, he's not trying to just gather them all up and throw them out of the country. He's not trying to do that. He's going to take into consideration that what have they fucking contributed to America? How are their lives and stuff? You know, but if they come in here and they got a guy that's a gangbanger in L.A., some Mexican guy that's got a group of Mexican immigrants gangbanging out, killing people, raping and robbing and shit. Okay, they're gonna go home.
As
You
well
know,
they should, in a box.
they don't they don't belong here, man. Let their countries deal with them. You know, and not be allowed to. We can't just pick them up, send them across the border, and say, "See you next time you sneak back across." You know,
No, we
you
can't
know.
do that, man.
So we need to send them back to their country. We need to have their country take care of their
Tell you
issues,
what we ought to
and
do, man. We ought to somehow be able to tag them with some kind of microchip that they can't, or like a shot, and they can't get it out of their
yeah.
body. And
Well,
anytime they show back the fuck up in the United States, man, they go off on the national fuck you registry thing, and you just go out, pick them up, and take them back across, and slap them twice, and say if you do it
that's
again,
not a bad idea. If they had a microchip system they could put on somebody that would actually stay, that they couldn't just surgically remove it, and then that's the problem. They'll just cut it out.
well, you'd
You
have to
know,
like put it in the brain or something. Then
yeah,
they
it might
would
be a
then they
little.
wouldn't want to fuck with that, maybe. You know, I
That
mean,
might be pushing. That might be pushing it a little bit, Bill.
well, I know, man, but you got to be deadly to stop something like that, man. You know,
But
you put it in the fucking brain, and if they try to get it, it kills them.
well, that's just it, man. The only thing we can actually liably do
They
without
wouldn't come back.
well, I know, but we can do just what Trump wants to do. We close our borders. We cause screening. We make sure visas are not issued to people who can't go back to their countries. You know, if they can't come back, they just don't fucking leave in the first place. We don't want you here. You know, and if you don't believe in the American way of life, if you don't believe in living the way our laws and our society lives, then don't come. You know, don't be here. You know,
I still
we're
like,
not going to let those. We're not going to let those people in.
I don't know, man. I still like my brain surgery idea, though.
Well, that's a great idea, but we can't get away with that. I don't think they'd allow that.
It'd be foolproof, though, man, once you got it to plan to phase two, you know?
Well,
Little fucking bit of C4 on the end of the thing, man. With some,
now that so as soon as you cross the border, it blows up.
yeah. And you tell them. You say, as long as you motherfuckers don't get close to the border, you stay fucking a mile away, and you'll be fine for eternity. You'll
Actually,
get a warning headache of when you hit the mile thing. It'll let you know. Be a
start hearing
little
the
audio
barking.
thing is, yeah. It'll
Yeah.
have like a little audio thing go off in there and says like, you are about to fuck up your cabeza. You know, provided they're Mexican, they'd understand that. You know, you're about to blow the top of your cabeza clean the fuck off. You have
Oh
50
man.
feet in front of you to make the determination. You know, you got to
And then
wonder, man.
the
We
wall would be a lot cheaper to build then, though. All we'd have to do is run with them,
want a little
them
electric thing, man.
they have little dog electric fences along
Not
the
only
border.
that, but we would be able to monitor the suicide rate of bad motherfuckers in Mexico. Because if they made it over here and they went back and they took themselves out, we'd have a record of that. So that'd be
Yeah, there you go.
kind of interesting.
Well, we can't do that though. It'd be nice,
We should though.
but
We should do that though.
all we got to do is understand
Just the
Hillary
bad
is
guys
going.
though. Only the bad people, man, not the good
Hillary
ones.
is going to. But that's the people Trump is going after. Now he's not going to sit there and aggressively try to drag the Spanish mother that's been working here her whole life, has had 2 or 3 kids and got a good life and a good and meeting society's goals and believes in our way of life and our standards and stuff. He's not going to go after those people.
No, but you know there's going to be some collateral issues where some of those people are going to be affected in a negative way.
It will happen, and that's
It
unavoidable,
will
man.
happen, man.
It will happen, but that's going to be unavoidable. But on the long run, doing so the way he's wanting to do it, it's going to get rid of a lot of the element we don't want here.
Yeah, it will, man. I mean, it sucks though, man, that the good people and the ones that really are contributing to the American way of life and all that good stuff, I mean, that they're going to get caught up in the mix, man. But it's you know, analogous, however you want to make it. But you know, truth be told, it's the lesser of the two evils. You know, the collateral damage, whatever euphemism you want to put on it. But you know, regardless, something's got to be done.
Right, and he's got the right idea, you know, and the way he's wanting to do it is basically the only way it can be done.
Oh yeah. Well, I will
You
say
know,
though, man, there's a lot of immigrants and shit that, and I'm going to say it, that do work that the American people think they're too good to do. Now, granted, if you were the dude that was going to jail or your kids were going hungry or something, you know, you want to step up, then yeah, you might go out there and you know, pick those fields and shit like that, you know, when season comes up. But you know, the migrant workers. I mean, there's years ago I used to sell
now,
flea markets and stuff, and I sold in a flea market in Pawpaw, just the other side there, and the migrant fields, and you know they had a big migrant town close, so they would show up in the weekends and stuff. And I think I was getting, you know, like I had like charms and stuff. I was getting like $5 for them or something. Um, the migrants would come in, man, and you could see that one of their little kids or something would just fall in love with one of my charms or something like that, and you know, and you could see that you know they're wearing clothes that aren't even clean. They're you know a hole here or there. Maybe they got 2 flip-flops on and they're mismatched colors. I mean, you know, they're really hurting. But yet, you know, the father would see the joy that the kid would get, you know, looking at this, and he'd come up with $5. Now, $5 is probably a meal for them for the whole night.
well,
Well,
actually,
there's a point to the story. What I ended up doing was most of the time when I saw that scenario, if not all the time, I usually just gave it to him because, yeah, it cost me like 30 cents, man, or something. It wasn't much, but
well, you got to remember, man.
it made me feel
I've
good,
worked
man.
my uncle's worked directly with the migrant workers and stuff, man, and he's got a lot of fields in Tennessee, and if you actually think about it, man, they work piece labor and they're so quick that those people on an hourly rate make about $35 an hour. You
But
know,
they're working their asses off too.
they're working their asses off, but they're making $35 an hour on an average, man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, so when you're sitting there giving that kid a free fucking um little necklace or something, that guy, his dad just made all the money that he made, all the money that kid made, and all the money his wife and all his other 13 kids made that day at $35 an hour each, and that's in his pocket.
Man, I'm going back to Pawpaw and whip me some Mexican migrants' ass.
Well, that's what you don't realize. They got more money than you think,
And it's like
man.
the motherfucker that's homeless, man. He gets done at the end of the night and goes over to his Mercedes and gets in, goes home to his $300,000 house over at the bay there, you know.
But that's why they do it though, man, because they do make good money by working their ass off and being
I did not
quick.
know that, man. I mean, I really figured they made like $50 a day or something, maybe 40
No,
bucks.
they do piecework, man. They get paid per quarter,
Well,
per
yeah, but
basket.
I didn't know how
You
much they get per basket, man. But I guess
know, it
obviously
adds
more
up,
than I
man.
thought.
Yeah, if you're quick, it adds up, man. It's like tomatoes, man. I've seen a Mexican. I said that's terrible to say, but I seen a migrant worker working for him that could pick a bushel basket of tomatoes in about 35, 40 seconds.
Shit me.
No, it's just because some of these plants are, got a bushel on them anyhow, because they're so big. But they just go through and they strip that sucker, man, and they drop the basket, and they got their kid coming down the aisle gathering up the baskets, take it back and keeping count, you know. And they're hauling this shit all day long, man, and they're rotating and they work their ass off, man. But they make the money on that piece rate,
Well,
you
but
know.
the thing is, even if they are making it good money, which they're entitled to, if they figure out and do something again, where an American's going to go, I ain't working that fucking fast.
Well, that's right. They wouldn't work that hard,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know. So in all reality, now Clinton's or not Clinton, but Trump's not going to stop that. The migrant workers will still be able to apply for visas, and as long as they meet criteria, they'll be able to get a visa for the seasons and come in here and work still.
What if they get a MasterCard too, man?
They're making a MasterCard too. I don't know, but that's the regular workers. The regular workers get a MasterCard. The regular ones just get a Visa.
Yeah. Debit, debit card.
Debit, yeah, debit card, temporary debit. But they'll be allowed to come work still, man, because there is a need for them, you know. But they're going to have to go through proper channels, you know. They're not going to just be able to sneak across the border and go to work, you know. They're going to have to apply for the visa. They're going to have to get okay. They're going to have to be tested and everything, even for the temporary shit. And they're going to have background checks. Everything's going to be. They're going to check out. If you got a guy that's a mass murderer in Mexico, been convicted 12 times or something, he wants to come over and pick strawberries, he's not coming. You know,
That makes sense.
he's not picking strawberries.
That
That,
makes.
that, that guy that's worked his whole life has no criminal record and is trying to take care of his 12 kids, his grandma, and fucking 3 sisters or something. Okay, he's going to show up. He's going to be here. You know,
So,
and that's
bottom
the way it's
line,
going to
no
work
El
out.
Loco.
That's right. No crazy motherfuckers, man. We're not letting them in. You know,
Nope.
but
Got enough
that's
crazy
the way it's going to
motherfuckers here
work out.
now.
People are all cutting down on him, man, because him wanting to be this immigration reform and shit. And they're saying he's racist and prejudiced, but he's
No,
not.
he's not.
He's trying to help America. You know, and he stepped right up to the plate. Trump has been completely presidential now this last couple of weeks, man. He stepped right up to the plate,
That he has.
and he's coming out and he's making people aware of what he's actually working for, and that's including the black communities and the Hispanics and everything. He's trying to make a better world for them here.
Well, and also, man, he needs to, people need to understand too. Just because of shit like that Letterman commercial and shit, where he had shit made in Bangladesh and China and stuff, from a business point only, not from a make America great point, because at that time he didn't have the platform and he didn't have the wherewithal and know that he'd ever get to the point where he could make a change. So he's taken advantage of the laws as they're in place because he has stockholders and people that want to see something costs a dime and they make $17 off of it as long as it's
Oh,
quality shit. So, like he said, he beats China all the time. That's what he was referencing to. He's getting shit done for a quarter that costs everybody else $1 over there for the same quality return stuff, and he's getting it done because he's shrewd. He knows how to do it. He did it for his company. Now, as the commander in chief, he's going to look at it from a different perspective because he's in
That's
a
right.
different position, and people need to
And
understand that.
he plans on stepping up into the trade thing. He's like that. One of his first things he ever said he was going to do is we made bad trade deals.
Yes, we did.
America, and he said that's going to stop.
Fuck, we used to export shit and import stuff that we have. Like I said,
Right.
we buy fucking oil from the United Arab Emirates, from fucking OPEC and shit. We got more fucking oil than they've got sitting over in Montana.
Oh yeah, and we're going to set on that shit too, because they don't want the prices to come down, which would screw them up.
Oh, we could fuck OPEC's economy up. We could fuck Saudi Arabia up in a motherfucking heartbeat, man, if we start getting our own oil. I mean, we get about, I don't know the numbers exactly, 51% was a number sticks in my head, from Canada. That's why when the gas went so bad, when the petroleum prices went down so bad, it was OPEC fucking with Canada.
Well, we have gotten a little bit better though, man. I mean, I guess it started with last couple of years. Now we used to be the largest buyer of
Crude.
imported oil, crude, yeah. But now, as of now, it stands China buys more imported oil than we do.
That's good. Let them buy it.
So I mean,
they're stockpiling it somewhere probably.
Oh, of course, we did too, though. We stockpile a lot of shit. Right now, I saw Trump on the news the other day talking. We actually have ships that are sitting in the ocean right now, tankers full of oil that has no place to go. Everything's full. They can't get a place to put it.
I know.
So I mean, that's just because the dollar is so fragile right now that if we allow too much more to come in the country, it's going to drop our dollar down to nothing.
This is true. Here's the thing, though, man. This was hit it and quit it. I told you it was going to go long. We talked almost as long about this as we did about the television things. But see, you're stoned, man. You've lost track of time. See, time to you, you're on Cambodian or Colombian time, man, or Jamaican time. We Jamaica whatever time we want, motherfucker.
It's actually it's on American grown
homegrown time.
That's right.
That's it, man.
We do a better job of it than most people.
Hey, we're pretty good at it, man. Now, But to summarize, though, Big Daddy's still doing a good thing. He isn't fucking with anybody. He's trying to be right, trying to do the right thing. Don't harbor any ill will because of the shit like the Letterman commercial or anything. Because different Trump, same Trump, but different end game. That's really what it is. Right. The Audi end game is, and he knows he's, what would you rather have? A fucking guy that wants to affect change, or a guy that knows how to do it because he played both sides of the fence?
That's it, man. I believe everybody has their right and that have their own opinion and their right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But all I ask is that you actually listen to Trump. Actually spend as much time listening to what he really has to say
as just the gaffes that everybody puts out.
Yeah,
not everybody, just Clinton people.
Don't listen to what everybody's saying, or Clinton. Don't listen to the Clinton commercials and stuff you see on TV. Actually, take the time to actually listen to Donald.
You can sum it up in a quick heartbeat. Bill Clinton, even though I dislike the man and his morals and everything, is a great orator. He speaks very well, but he's a lying son of a bitch. So you can take that, maybe Trump isn't as eloquent in his speaking, which he will get better. But he talks from his gut. You know where he's at. Even if he says a stupid thing, you know that came from his heart at the time or his brain. It wasn't some scripted shit like everything Clinton says. That's a lie.
And just recently, the big news, Big Daddy Trump a man who's never had to apologize or never had to apologize for anything he's ever said or done actually stepped up and apologized for some of the comments and some of the things he said in the heated debate or discussion.
Yes, he did.
He said that sometimes when you're in the middle of the heated debate and discussion on subjects, that sometimes you say
Just
the
can't
wrong.
be political.
You can't be political. Sometimes you will say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
You're passionate. Unless you're saying something that's canned, which means you're not giving an honest answer anyway. It's the canned presentation. Like when Rubio said that shit on the debate, and Christie pointed out, he goes, "There it is, folks." That 20-second canned thing, about how Obama knows or whatever the hell it was, But that's it. That was canned. I mean, he said it twice, almost identical. And that's, Trump isn't that guy. Trump's going to say what he thinks from his gut. Now, he is going to be a little more structured now. He's reading off a teleprompter. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now he doesn't have to pull it all out of his head. At least he had the guts to do that up to that point, but it's cost him some stupid comments, I'll be the first to say, and he knows it. He knows he said some stupid shit. But the fact is, he's human. He's human. You got a much better chance of him saying the truth and saying what needs to be said than trying to.
One thing. That's the one thing he made evident, that now we know that Clinton's going to lie to us. The Clintons have
Their
lied.
Mouth opens, lies come out.
They have lied since the day one, since way back when Bill first got into Arkansas or whatever.
Before.
The Clintons have lied.
I heard he lied about being a Rhodes Scholar, man, in Oxford.
They probably did. Now, as I said, they lie about everything. They lie, and Trump. One thing he said: "I may not always be politically correct. I may say the wrong things, but I will not lie to you."
And that's worth a lot to me, man.
That's right. It is to me too. Now, a guy, even if the guy says shit that you don't like or someone don't like, man, as long as he's telling you the truth, the way he sees it, as long as he's telling what he believes, what he feels, the truth of what he feels inside, that's a great thing.
See, what's so bad, man? I hope the youth picks up on this shit and listens to us, because the thing is, it's been 16 years since Clinton left office. Now, you got kids that were 2, 3, 4 years old that are now old enough to vote. They didn't have a fucking clue and know what the Clintons were. Even if they were 3 years old after the 8 years, they were only 11. How much can they fucking know? But
well, a lot of them believe that Clintons did some good while they're in office.
No, they didn't, man. Clinton was the bloodsucker on Reagan's ass, because that's
right.
what he did, man. He took everything, rolled in, all the trickle down economics and the Reaganomics and all that shit. All started to show itself when Clinton took over, and in that 8 years, through all of his debauchery and debating the fucking word "is" and all the stupid shit he did. Never used the word sex one time during the impeachment trials. Not one fucking time. Only apologized that he got caught, basically. He didn't fucking apologize for anything that meant anything. But, he took all the credit for everything that Reagan did.
Well, he did help a lot of guys out there, though, man, by setting a precedence that a blowjob wasn't sex.
Yeah, that cracks me up. Yeah, blowjob is not sex. Oral sex, term of the word, oral sex is not sex.
So it doesn't matter if you get a blowjob, man. That's not sex, so you can get away with it, man.
Well, you should tell that to the prostitutes, because they get busted for it.
That's right.
And that's 90% of what they fucking do. And the cops, somehow the court system in the local courts that you and I would not attend by virtue of that, but I'm just saying, if we were in trouble and we went to those courts and we walked in and said, "Well, I paid a lot of money for this shit, Judge. I mean, but it wasn't no $2 whore or nothing, but
I did not have sex.
I did not have sex with that woman, Miss Whore."
She only gave me a blowjob. That was it.
That doesn't count.
Sex involved.
And a judge would be like, "Well, that is sex," and you go,
"What is
Bill. You go, what? Just look at the word "is." Now, if you and I said that in court and we had lawyers behind us, the lawyer would be like, man, we ain't got a shot at this.
Oh, we're done.
But yet
Yeah.
this motherfucker, but yet fucking Clinton debates the word is. Now, is means it went forth. That's how I look at the word is. A lot of people can't even define the word is.
It did happen.
It went forward. Something took place. It is. If it isn't, that means it didn't happen. If it is, it did. It's that fucking simple. And yet that asswipe debated this shit. Our commander-in-chief in the whole fucking world watching, caught with his dick in his hand, actually said that is didn't mean move forward, and whatever wording he used. Is means something proceeded. Something went into effect. That's what the fucking word means.
Well, only thing I feel really happy about at this moment is the fact that all this shit that's coming out on her email and the fact that
you know, you got 10,000 more fucking emails now.
Oh no, 15,000.
Whatever,
man.
Might as well be 100. They ain't gonna do anything probably,
but that's not it. There was 33,000 emails that they recovered that she had deleted.
I know.
You know, I mean, it never even showed. And she sat there right and told Congress she turned everything in. You know,
well,
so they got her dead to rights lying.
Well, yes, they do, and that's what's
they can't back out of it, man. That's just it. It's common knowledge now to everybody that she factually lied to Congress.
We can talk 3 more hours, but this is going to be one, folks. We're going to have to. The hit it and quit it went longer than our actual thing.
We'll have to cut this short because of the fact there's so much to talk about.
Yes.
And we're going to end up covering Clinton and Trump as we go along.
Yes, we will.
Until this election happens.
It's going to have to be more like hit it and kind of quit it.
Kind of quit it.
Hit it and hang with it.
But she's going to face these questions about under oath. And they just demanded that she respond in writing. You know, the answer to the questions that she had lied under oath. She's got to answer to the lies.
Well, let's put it this way: if there's any truth and justice in everything, she's going to get found guilty on something. And whatever happens, I mean, let the public watch. I'm willing to make the claim now she won't do a day in jail. She'll get fined something. It'll be like the big companies that put out the shitty drugs that make $1 skillion and get fined 100,000 or $1 million or something.
That's just it. And I've already seen evidence of that shit because before when I checked into it, the law read that it was an automatic 5 years for lying to Congress. Now
times 5 offenses.
Yeah. Now I find out that it's a fine. It could also be a fine.
Well, that's like we talked about it before. It's the Hillary and Bill Clinton. If you got a lot of money and you bribe enough motherfuckers, fine, you can get out of jail free fund.
So even if they find her guilty, like you said, she probably will never spend a day in jail. She'll end up paying her way out of it. You know.
I just want to see her. I want to see them. They're already disgraced. That's the fucked up part. You sit there and you go like, okay. You know, how much can you disgrace a motherfucker? It's going to be hard to disgrace somebody who lives on Disgrace Avenue. Yeah, we're actually doing an hour and 31 minutes right now, man. So we probably ought to cut this short.
Well, right now, though, like I said, they're gonna make her, and she's gonna have 30 days upon the receiving the questionnaire to fill it out. And she's got to complete it within 30 days and explain all her shit before she comes up against in front of Congress again. That way, when she lies next time, they can open up her own statements and say, "Well, right here, you wrote down this."
This is true.
You know, and we got to let it go at that because I know we're dragging this out too much. But the fact is, the Clintons have lied about everything. Hillary has flat lied right to Congress's face. She's been caught. There's no way out of this deal. If we let her in, all we're going to face is the same shit that we're getting right now. We've been getting right along. There's not going to be any change.
No, there'll be less than change. Well, there'll be change, but it'll be change for the bad. And what's going to happen is it's going to put the United States further and further in debt. People need to realize, even the lazy motherfuckers that want to sit there and dole off welfare and food stamps and shit when they know they could be out working. There are some people that need it. There are a lot of people that don't. And the big problem is you fuckers are going to run out of money because they're going to bankrupt the United States. And then what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to have to go out there and start robbing people. And the only problem with that is a lot of people like myself will blow your fucking skulls off.
That's right, man. And well, I'm going to quote Big Daddy Trump here, man. On the fact that he said, the Democrats have done nothing for anybody.
No, they haven't.
They haven't improved your life. They haven't improved the United States standing. They've done nothing to improve our society.
They have almost totally and completely socially bankrupt the United States in 8 fucking years.
The one thing that I agree with 100%, regardless, is Trump said, "What do you have to lose?"
I'll tell you what we have to lose. We have to lose our fucking country if we don't get the right people in there. We've already lost most of it.
Okay, Bill, you missed the point. The point is we have voted these losers in that's fucked up our entire fucking lives.
Oh, I didn't miss the point. I understand what you're saying. He's the lesser of the two evils. Even if if he was evil, he's the lesser.
We have one man that's willing to do his best to bring it back. So what do you got to lose? Give Trump a chance.
Well, that's it. It's not like he needed the money. It's not like he needed the notoriety or anything. If anything, it's a hell of a headache for him. But it's one he's willing to take on. He's almost 70 years old, too. He's not a young guy. And I don't know. He might be 70. But regardless, he's doing this because he wants to, not because he needs to, not because he has to.
Because he believes America needs a change. They need help.
Well, look at it this way. If you guys can't look at it from any other point of view other than this, Trump doesn't want to go down in history like Obama's going to go down in history as the guy that fucked up the whole United States. He wants to go down as the guy that fixed the shit that Obama fucked up.
That's right. He's too big of a media whore anyhow, man.
That's it. He's not going to lose.
He's going to make this shit come out on top, and when he's done, he's going to look good.
That's it.
That's a Trump. So that's what we got to look forward to. A man that's worried about making things work and looking like he did something, when instead we've got politicians in there that don't care anything but the fact that they got the office.
That's it. And what do they got to do to fucking keep it? Whose shit they got to grease or whatever, and that's how it rolls, man. But we need to cut that off, or you and I'll be another hour on politicians greasing their pockets. We go on this
forever. But I'll let that go with that, man. Listen to Trump. Actually sit down. Even if you don't like him, get on the internet. Check out some of his town hall meetings he's had lately. Look at the speech he gave in Akron, Ohio. Check these speeches out. Listen to what he has to say, and compare that with the bullshit you've been listening to Hillary say.
That's it.
And that right there should be enough to convince you that we have a person running for president that's going to try to make things better for us.
And I think he will. And on that note, don't forget, folks, leave your comments and subscribe. And we definitely like to hear you. We know we went long on this one for sure. It's the longest one we've ever done, but we're kind of passionate about this shit. I mean, I don't want the Clintons, man. The 16 years or 8 years of not feeling comfortable about things, man. You get up every morning and you're just sitting there wondering, what did he do now? What'd they do now? It was great for the comedians. I'm sure the comedians they don't even want him, even though they get 4 or 8 years. And the thing is, you get Hillary, you get Bill. It's a duality of despair. And
I agree. I agree that the Clinton Foundation needs to be closed down.
Oh yeah, shut down for RICO.
Because they're just
it's the perfect example of RICO. It's the RICO Act. They could shut them down for racketeering, influence, corruption, organization. That's what it stands for.
I think if Trump gets in, that will probably happen. And I hope it does. But we better get off of this, Bill, and wish people well and thank them for actually listening to us.
Yes.
Because we do tend to rant a little bit, but
This will be a long
I
one. You
hope.
guys get some soda and some stuff. Well, by now you already figured that out, so it's really a relevant point to say. But it's a long one, but there's a lot to be
If you
said.
got, leave your comments. You've got a comment about this subject, we would like to hear it because we want to hear from you.
Yes, we do, man. We're
So
going to keep doing these whether you guys like it or not, so start liking us, man.
start liking us. We need subscribers. We need people to like us. We're doing our best, and we're new at this, and we're not really political people.
And we might
No,
actually get to where we're talking straight and I'm not swearing a lot, but fuck, I doubt it.
but we're going to keep trying. We urge you to stick with us through all this until we reach that level.
That
And
is correct.
until the next time I have a chance to be involved with this with Mr. Bill, I'm going to check out and let Mr. Bill say goodbye. And I thank you for all your listening and all the attention that you've given us this far.
And on that note, Mr. Bill's going to say goodbye. Goodbye.